Hello and welcome to the Business of Being a Virtual Assistant. I'm your host, Tiffany Parson, and you're watching and listening to episode number 163. I got a question that came in from Maria, and I knew there may be some of you that have this question. Okay, let's dive into Maria's question, and I've got Actually, I put it on a little sticky note for myself right here. So she has no idea where to start, how to start, where to go, and how to plan. She wants to be a virtual assistant, but is completely lost. Now, Maria's question came in over the holiday, and I saved it for the podcast because, again, I knew she was not the only one with this question. There are lots of resources on my website, tiffanyparson.com. However, I wanted to actually talk to Maria and anyone else that is feeling this way. We're getting towards the end of the year, and you may have set certain goals for yourself, and now you're just kind of feeling lost or just stuck or overwhelmed. So let's talk about all of that. Her first question was how to start, and I'm going to have to answer her in reverse. How to plan. Now, for those of you that have the 21-day Upwork challenge guide, day one is all about assessing your skills. Here's the thing. You got to know what you can provide right now to a client that was looking for you. If they were looking for you, what type of services can you provide for them right now? So think about something that you do on your job every single day that you can take with you, that skill set, and provide to a virtual client. So that's the first thing, is figuring out what can I provide as a virtual assistant. Now, you may have to start as a general VA and kind of do a whole number of things until you find out what area is your specialty. And no one knows their specialty on day one. Just start with something that you already know how to do. Here's an example. When I started, one of the things that was fresh is that I would do Excel reports, pivot tables, create charts, and things like that. So that is something that I will offer, is a service was people needed a spreadsheet. Maybe they were gathering names, emails, phone numbers, or they had some reporting they needed to do with their numbers. And I started backwards because that was the actual thing that I was doing on my corporate job. Then I worked my way backwards with the other skills that I had, which came into programming, developing websites, on and on from there. But that's the first thing. That's how you want to plan it, is what am I actually going to provide for someone? Her other question was, how do you start? Like, okay, let's say I am really good at email support. I've been offering that, or you've been doing customer service, and you want to offer that virtually to somebody. So, okay, where do we go? Where do we start? The first thing you want to do is let people know that you're offering this service, because you never know who knows who that could use your service. So let everybody know. And the way you can say it is, hey, I'm opening a virtual assistant business. Do you know someone that could use help with their email support? Do you know somebody that needs help in creating Excel spreadsheets? Do you know someone that needs help with creating social media graphics? So let everybody you know that you're offering a service. That's an easy place, something that you can do real quick. Now, if that scares you to let everybody know what you're offering, that's okay. The other thing I recommend is starting with Upwork, because it is a place where people are already looking for freelancers, virtual assistants, contractors just like yourself who offer various services. So that is another place. Upwork is always in addition to other things like your social media and promoting yourself in other places. There's an episode I did a few episodes back on how to market your VA business. I'll make sure I share the link in the show notes as well as in the comments here, so you guys will have access to that as well, because I don't want to repeat what was already in that episode. It broke down some different ways for you to market yourself. So the plan is to find out what service you can offer today without having to learn a new skill. You want to be able to learn and earn at the same time. If you can provide it to your employer, certainly you can provide it to a virtual client. Then the starting point is letting everybody that you know this is what you do. There was another episode where I talked about how we lead with the service we provide as opposed to saying that we're a virtual assistant. So for example, if someone asks me what I do, I let them know that I provide online technical support and strategy for coaches, churches, and nonprofit organizations. I'll make sure I link that episode as well if you missed that one. I don't remember the exact numbers, but I'll know when I go back into the archives and find it. So I'll have it all linked up in the show notes and the comments below. So that's the plan. That's where you start. And it also includes where to go. So you go people you know, Upwork, and let people know. If you are on social media, utilize it. If you're not on social media, you have to get on social media. This is also something that I have to share with clients and potential clients. If you're trying to do anything that involves people, you have to be online. It's not optional. These days, even churches have to have a social media presence. And what does that mean? It means you have to be doing something beyond your personal profile. Your personal profile is great, but it's personal. So if someone were to do a Google search, nothing on your personal profile is going to come up except for the fact that you have a personal profile. And the only way it's going to come up is if someone searches by your name. And then they're going to find a million people with your same name. But your business page on Facebook, if someone Googles something in relation to a virtual assistant or a service or something that you provide that you have also talked about, because you have to have talked about it on your page in order for it to come up in a search. So this is why it's important for us to have a Facebook business page as well. Yes, us, even as virtual assistant business owners, we have to have it. And it doesn't matter how many people have liked your page, unless you're promoting to clients that you can build their social media platforms. If you're saying you can build their social media platforms, but you haven't built your own, that's a problem. So if that is a service you're providing, you yourself are proof of the concept that you can actually do that. Otherwise, don't stress out about how many, comments, likes, all this stuff, but you have to have a presence there and you have to show up. You have to show up and share with people. You guys are brilliant. You have great information, great tips, things that you can offer clients, things that you can share on your Facebook. Let's see, what else? So that should get you going and get you started. Now, if you're wondering about the details, like if you want to create an Upwork profile, you're not sure what to do, then you want to go ahead and grab the 21-day Upwork challenge guide on my website. Go to tiffanyparson.com, click on courses, and you'll see it under there, the 21-day Upwork challenge guide. You'll see it there, and it takes you day 1 through day 21. You can choose to literally go by individual days or take a weekend and go through it all. It takes you from setting up your profile to submitting your actual proposals to potential clients. It also helps you in calculating what your bid amount will be, and the new section that's been added because they removed testing from Upwork. So that was replaced with creating your portfolio. How do you create a portfolio when you may have never had a client before? That is important. What do you do? So it gives you all that information as well. The key here is not to be so afraid of starting that you never start. You do it afraid anyway. Because my thought is this: You start with something you already know how to do, that you do every day on your job, you won't be as afraid to do it. If you decide all of a sudden to do something totally brand new, you've never done it for anybody, yourself, employer, no one, then that makes it scary. So start with something that you've already been doing and you just know like the back of your hand. If I asked you about it right now, you would know exactly what to do. Now, if you are wanting to start a virtual assistant business because you heard it was a great way to start working from home, it's lucrative, all these things, that's not the best reason to start. 11 years ago, when I started, I knew several different VA business owners. Fast forward to today, if you ask me, are they still around? They're still around, but they're no longer providing VA services. So make sure you're in it for reasons that will sustain you and keep you moving forward even when you don't feel like it. So especially now during the holiday season when you might just want to sit around, drink hot cocoa, watch great movies on Hallmark, or be with family or friends and doing fun stuff as opposed to looking for new clients, you need something that's going to keep you moving forward. For me, from I would say about 6 months into being in corporate America, I knew I wanted to be at home. 6 months in, the newness wore off of having, my own desk and having my own phone and, a phone number and an extension, a badge to, buzz into the building and out. Once that faded away, there was nothing else exciting in that office. And I was looking for something to change, to make it better. But when you go into an office setting, you can't go in there changing all their stuff. That's not how it works. You're supposed to do what they want you to do and keep doing it over and over again every single day. So I knew 6 months in, I wanted to be home, but I didn't know anyone that had a business from home. I knew people that had businesses, but they actually had brick and mortar, like buildings and stuff, leases. I didn't know there wasn't any way I was going to do that. I wanted to be at home. But this was in the late 90s and email came out when I was in college. So it wasn't a thing to start something from home, much less online. I remember getting the first time getting access to the library from home back in the late 90s. So it's I'm dating myself, but that's okay. I've been around for a while. But 6 months in. So it's 12 years I pushed through in corporate, but all the while my goal was to be home. But even then I didn't know about this industry. The unique part about our industry is that we can all provide completely different services. There is no set blueprint for a virtual assistant business. It's an industry. You get to create and map it out and plan it exactly how you want it to look for yourself. And it could change as you change, as your family changes, as life changes, because it's all up to you. The decisions that you make, there's no right or wrong. It's not like school where somebody's going to come along and mark everything up with red ink and tell you it's wrong. No, it's yours. And you're going to make the best decision for yourself at the time. The more we know, the more we know. So brace yourself. If you're at a point where you've got to go left, right, or keep straight ahead, but you know you've got to move, you've got to make a decision, trust yourself in the decision making. You probably already know the answer, but just may be afraid to move in any direction. Don't think that you're going to make a wrong decision, because you're not. There's A, there's B, there's C. You choose. And always be true to yourself, not trying to fit in someone else's box or because someone thought you would be great at it. If you're starting a virtual assistant business because someone said, oh, you're really good at social media graphics, you should start a business. If you've never thought about starting a business and someone does that to you, whatever skill set you have, and they tell you should start a business, if you've never thought about starting a business and they say, oh, you're great at social media, you should offer that as a service, that would be scary if you've never considered it. And as you're thinking about it, if you're just like, no, I don't want to do that. One of the things that is important in a business is for us to always be marketing ourselves. We have to always be finding new clients, no different from anyone else with a business. If we owned a boutique, we would have to find customers. And then we would have to figure out a way to retain those customers and keep them coming back again and again and again. Fortunately, as a VA business owner, if clients get locked in and you do provide great social media service and that's something that you love to do and you have a passion for it and no one had to tell you you would be good at it, you already knew and wanted to get in it yourself and started, you provide excellent service, they will come back again and again, and they will refer their friends. They will refer people that they know. And they'll send them your way. You continue to provide excellent service. Be the standout. Many people have experienced VAs and it was not the best. You be different. How does it look when you're different? First of all, you're in it because you love it and not because somebody told you it's a great way to make money or it's convenient or it's good because you're a new mom and you can be home with your kids. You're in it because you love serving customers. You love doing that particular thing that you provide to customers. You know, I was talking to a client today and just talking to her, I get excited hearing what they're doing in their business and seeing where I can dive in and help them out. Clients automatically feel that. They can feel when you know what you're talking about and when you're able to help them and you're passionate about it. They want you. Plenty of people know how to use Canva. Plenty of people know how to use Facebook, but are they interested enough to dive even further? Would they sign up for the premium account on Canva and figure out what's the difference between the free and the paid version? What all does it offer? Is it worth it? What are all the different ways that I can create things for clients and make it better beyond the templates that they provide? That's someone that's really interested in providing service and utilizing Canva in their services. Or social media. Yes, there are lots of changes. They're talking about taking the like button away from Instagram. But if you provide social media services and your clients ask you, what do you think about them taking away the like button? You should have an opinion about that. You provide a service, you should have an opinion. You're not just a doer. You're a person. You have opinions about things. This is something that's good to share. I had a client ask me, what membership software do I recommend? So I recommended a certain one and I shared with her why that one was my favorite. How do I know it's a favorite? Did I read an article about it? No, I've actually experienced it for myself. I only share tools that I have used for my own personal business or for client business. And based on those things, I can make recommendations for clients, and so can you. Now, I've given you a lot of information. I don't want you to leave out of December without making a move. I've given you action steps based on where to start, where to go, and how to plan. This can be applied even if you've been in your business for a while. Maybe you're on what I would call a second wind and you're ready to add something else, to do something more, to mix it up some. That will help. So anyway, this is episode number 163. I want to thank you guys so much for listening. If you are not on my email list, be sure you are, because those who were got notified of this live recording and are able to participate with me now. We're actually going to close out this episode and do a Q&A in case anybody has any questions. But if you're listening to the podcast or watching this on YouTube, go ahead and text 345-345, the words VA START. That's for Virtual Assistant Start. So you can get on the email list and find out the next time that we go live. One thing I really like about recording the podcast live is, first of all, the Facebook community gets to watch first. They get to also participate, and they get a chance to interact with me live after the episode has ended. So anyway, if you want in on all that, be sure to get on the VIP list, 345-345, and you want to text the words VA START. So anyway, you have a wonderful and fantastic day.